All right, all right, all right. Let's go, everybody. We've got ourselves a big best of 7 grand finals between Dark in the top left. The gift that keeps on giving. The man that looks like he hasn't practiced while showing up to a live Premier tournament and then casually dismantles the opponents like they've never played the game. I'm telling you, he's making top tier players this weekend look absolutely disastrously bad. Unfortunately, though, he's running into a tall test. It's a fascinating match. Clem in the top right for Team Liquid, Dark representing Dragon Kaiser Gaming, and Clem in 2020 had an unrivaled win streak in Terran Versurg, something even Maru has not matched. He won something like 60 series in a row, and then it wasn't until he met Dark in a tournament, Dark destroyed him. Ling run bys every time Clem tried to attack, Dark backstabbed him. Every time Clem tried to be greedy, Dark would like pop a Nidus in his base. He just killed him. And he made it look easy. And it was the first, he took away Clem's entire aura of indestructibility, and then he kept doing it to him. Over the following years, you know, we're casting this at the end of 2023. This was, like I said, about probably early 2021, I think, if memory serves. Maybe 2020, maybe mid 2020. And he just beat Clem like maybe 4 or 5 series for every one series that Clem would barely scratch together a victory. And this turned around in the last year. Clem has become so much more solid. He has started beating Dark consistently. And I think this year, I believe when I looked up the stats, the last series I cast, it was 18 wins to 6 for Clem. I think, something like that. Or 16 to 6? So now it's 17 to 6 after that, because Clem won that last series they played as well. So that's pretty massive, guys. It's almost a 3-to-1 win rate this year for Clem over Dark. And that makes this not an exciting series, except for one little detail, which is Clem is playing on LAN. And Clem gets incredibly nervous. You see him look shaky up there. He forgets upgrades. He makes big mistakes that he doesn't do when he's playing online. If this was online, I would say it's a big advantage for Clem, but this is a LAN tournament. It's his first grand finals on a Premier tournament. Yes, Clem's made it to 2 Home Story Cup finals, hanging out with his buddies, drinking, you know, eating pizza and drinking beers after the event. That's a very casual tournament. This is on a big stage. There is a huge audience of screaming North American fans in front of them, like massive turnout. Because this is the only American big StarCraft event annually, people travel from all over the US to watch this. And yeah, Clem's going to be nervous. And Dark, he doesn't get nervous. Of course, Clem is traditionally a much cleaner player than Dark. His builds are much better. Part of why he's been beating him a lot is he gets ahead. But Dark is a player who he always manages to step up on the big stages and show an ability to play above his skill level. He does not get nervous. He's impervious to nerves. And this is a true test of, can Clem live up to his potential? To get to this finals, he's already had a few very massive tests in this matchup. And I'll be honest with you guys, I didn't think Clem was going to make it past the round of 8. His opponent there is a monster. I thought that was going to be the end of his tournament run. But he managed to get through that in a very tight series. And we'll see what he can pull out. 3 command center opening, a couple of Hellions into a Liberator. Very straightforward, light harassment opening, pretty economically focused. And Dark is wisely opening with Roaches. This is Equilibrium, a map which is very good for Zerg. I do wonder when Dark opts for that gold base. I think that gold base is massive. Huge advantage for Zerg. Roaches is also Dark's specialty, because Roaches allow you to be a little sloppier on your build. It's easier to macro. And if you've got good micro, you can make magic happen with Roaches and Ravagers. And that's Dark's weakness, is macro, so you make the macro easier. That's good for you. His strength is his micro. The Roach Ravager has, like, the Ravagers are insane micro units. Dark makes them look like an absolute special unit. It's like he has a mutation on them. It's not just a Ravager, it's a Dark Ravager. A Pig Ravager runs in and gets itself killed and never lands a Corrosive Bile. Dark Ravagers counter every unit on the game. If you hover over a Dark Ravager, it counters carriers and battle cruisers. That's not even a joke. He's killed far more capital ships with his Ravager Biles than any Zerg in the history of the game. 5 Roaches kind of moving out. Okay, is he actually going to do a full 9 Roach pressure? I mean, there's nothing to defend, right? Liberator flies in, takes a bit of damage to the Queen. Bad spawning pool placement. Limits his ability to move Queens and Spores. But the Queens will come up there and shut down the Lib. Well worth losing a Queen. It's way better than losing drones there. Yeah, he loses 1 drone and a Queen for a Lib. Great defense. Hellions do manage to get behind the wall in. There's no Ling speed behind this. Clem's wall off under siege. He will lose the engineering base. Building a bunker in reserve. He's trying to get a few Cyclones out. So far, this is a good start for Dark. It's a great map for Dark, don't get me wrong. It's not too frustrating to lose this one as Clem, but he wants a good start. Cyclone's getting a bit of damage. These are the new Cyclone. They don't ravage roaches like the old one. They are popping out 2 at a time, though, so you can react with them very fast. I think the bunker, the Hellions and the Cyclones, is going to force Dark back. Dark should probably try to kill a depot maybe on the disengage, but he's got to just trade what he can on the way out. You can't really run home. The Cyclones are way faster, so he's just focusing down as many Hellions as he can. Good micro for Clem, though. Good micro. Shuts it down. Yeah, he loses a lot of Hellions, a bit of his map control, but behind it, both sides are macroing up. Spire? What, Spire? Oh, Dark. Oh, it's a roach pressure into Spire. Okay. This makes me think of my Pig Daily episode in 2016, a video that's still on YouTube to this day, how to beat a stronger opponent. And what I said is you do a roach pressure as an example to show the theory. I was like, look, you want to throw them off with a surprising pressure, and then you want to swap into the counter to their counter. So if you do like something like a roach pressure, people tend to be a bit more marine tank focused and a bit more like defensive, and then you surprise them with a swap into Mutiling Bane and kind of swarm them. The weird thing is he's still building roaches and roach speed and no Zergling speed. So roach muter is not really a style because you're spending gas on 2 different units that overlaps. He is making a Baneling nest. I mean, he wants some roaches to defend counter aggression, but I do think he could have been a little greedier. His 4th and 5th base are also building at the same time, which if one of those was up a little bit earlier, he could have already been up at 80 drones, because look how defensive Clem has been. Clem now exploding forwards with a double drop. 2nd factory, 4th and 5th barracks. Sitting on even workers while playing Mutiling Bane is very unusual, but because his hatcheries were so late, I do feel that was the big mistake with Dark's build order. I think he could be in a big economy lead. As it is, though, double drop on the north. Hellion Cyclone on the south. Cute moves here for Clem. I like the multi-prong. He's going to dive in the main as well. There are 2 queens there. They can get some damage on the medevacs, but Overlord's going down. Drones rallying into the Cyclones. This is not very clean for Dark right now. Where are his roaches? His roach speed is finished, but they're not in the main. He's losing all of his queens. It's a disaster, mate. Dark started off this game very well, but I have to question his choice of taking the front 3rd base. Obviously, that was a good launching pad for his roach aggression, but now it's coming to bite him in the butt because of the way you can threaten the front, force the roaches down there, and then just pick up and drop into the main base. Meanwhile, the Cyclones are picking off multiple roaches down here. Another Overlord looks like it's going to go down as well. The Overlord does die up to the top left. The Cyclones are going to take out these roaches as well. These roaches will now start to chase back. I think roaches are slightly faster than Cyclones. 4.2 versus 3.94. Not enough to take him out just yet. Marine drop back in the main base. Yeah, this is why I prefer the linear 3rd base, because a roach style always lacks anti-air. He's got Mutalisks. They are flying across the map. Maybe that's going to get enough damage to equalize. This is a messy start to the series, which is exactly what Dark should want. He wants to make it messy for Clem. Dark thrives in chaos. Clem would prefer things to be a bit cleaner. That being said, Clem is not going to buckle under the first bit of pressure. This man plays against Raynor 50 times a year. And when you play against Raynor all year, you get fantastic practice for the sort of chaos, the sort of aggression that Dark's going to throw at you. Because Dark and Raynor, I have a theory that they're 2, twin brothers who were split at birth, just from how they play StarCraft. Both chaotic, fun-loving players with a big smile on their face. They sometimes have sloppier build orders at the start, but damn, are they good at thriving in the weirdness. But unfortunately, he took enough damage that it was only a handful of Mutalisks. A few Ravagers morph, Queen's rebuilding, Link speed finally on the way here. Gold base is saturated, the 5th base as well. The creep spread's been really limited though, so it's all about this big push from Clem. 2-2's about halfway done. 1-1 melee carapace is done, Baneling speed's done. There's no Banelings. 7 Banelings morphing is not going to be enough. Out of this position, he has to give up the gold. There's no choice here. Dark simply has to give up the gold. He's harassing the gold to Clem. He needs to counterattack. He cannot fight over here. There is absolutely no way he can defend this base. And Dark realizes that pretty quickly, right? No? He's going for the fight. He's going to attack around the corner. A wild decision from Dark. And you know what? He's got the numbers. It looks like it's okay. There are a few Mutalisks over there. He's going to try and focus down those medevacs, but with only 4 mutas, it's not that much anti-air. Clem with some pretty good micro here, making the best of a bad situation. He's getting swarmed right now. Dark overwhelming this army. A few of the Marines and medevacs trying to save. The boost is almost there. More Marines coming in. Dark has to disengage. Corruptor's being built right now. That's actually a really good choice. The idea being, look, I don't have enough Mutalisks. I just need a tanky unit that can both tank Marine fire and also gun down the medevacs. Corruptors is a fantastic choice for that. Means every fight you win, you're clearing the medevac count. He does go back to mining on the gold. Dark needs to replenish his creep. He's also not taking the rich gas. This is such a huge boost. It's 2 gas geysers in 1. But he's forgotten to take advantage of it. Clem has his own gold base up, which makes that a very scary 4-base Terran. And with 2-2 upgrades now finishing, 2-2 only about halfway done. Dark is behind. Infestation Pit is on the way. Dark's control group usage, you can tell from the way he's moving his army, is basically F2 and A click, guys. He's finally put his Mutalisks and Corruptors on a different key. His main army on number 1, Mutacorruptor on number 3. You can always tell for a while when Dark's hitting that F2 key. He does take a second to get organized now. I really want to see him doing more run-bys rather than fighting front on. He gets a Corruptor. Big Biles landing. Clem's got to be careful on that micro, dude. You can't just be running Medivacs and Marines into Corrosive Bile. The tank line is firing pretty well, though. Front tank does get taken out. Biles landing on Marines once again. It's a lot of Roach Ravager. 10 Ravagers and 6 Roaches. The stats on this army aren't great. The kind of shoot and run, move and shoot, small skirmish battle is probably where the Ravager's going to excel. Clem's supply is not that great. Dark actually has a massive supply advantage. If he brings a section of army down the south and comes in from multiple sides, he can do it. But he can't fight front on because where those tanks are positioned, this is a bad angle for Dark. He's got the numbers. Will that make up for the bad positioning? Oh, it looks like the Ravager Biles from the high ground will take out those siege tanks. Pretty good Biles. Does take care of those. That was about as good of an angle as Clem could possibly take. He was drastically outnumbered at the start of that fight. Now it's looking like it's pretty even. If he can get through the Ling Bane and get to the Ravagers, that'll be massive. Corruptors are taking out a lot of the Medivacs. That's what's really costly in these fights. Remember, as these fights go on... Oh, he's chasing the Ravagers down. He got down 3 Ravagers, a bunch of the other units. Dark has not been injecting very well this game. He's not got a lot of lava. He's got 1,300 minerals in the bank. Dark needs more hatcheries, and he's got to queue up some of those injects, which he started to do now. But he lost a lot of queens earlier. Remember, all those queens got focused down in the main. That's why his injects have been behind. It's not so much him missing injects as him missing the queens to do the injects. It's like, hey, man, why don't you run faster? Well, I don't have feet. Yeah, that's kind of a bit of a rough analogy, but it works. Hive is finishing up right now for Dark. 3-3, just started for Clem. And he's remembering concussive shells, the famous concussive shells that Clem almost always forgets in late game Zerg vs. Terran. He actually remembers this time. He's on 8 barracks going up to 5 bases, extra command centers going down, preparing for the late game very well, something that he did really well in his previous series. But he's still not maxed out. He's overwhelmed in terms of raw army supply. That being said, there's not many Banelings in there. A lot of it's in Corruptor Ravager. Not necessarily the best fighting unit. It's not the cleanest attack. And there's a counter-attack in the south right now, finding the drone line. Corruptor coming in. Ling Bane Ravager trying to break the front line. But notice this Banelings were still morphing when he attacked. They're coming in spread out behind. A terrible engagement for Dark. He came in 3 separate waves. That was an awful fight for Dark. I thought it was weird that he went in while his Banelings were still morphing, but he literally came in with 2 follow-up Baneling waves after all of his Zerglings were gone. Oh, that is very, very awkward. Dark just took an incredibly bad fight. I think the trading was pretty even up to this point. He's now down 5,000 resources, and he loses a base in the bottom. He's also down in workers. Clem's got mass command center. You can't be fighting against a guy when you're up 40 army supply. I think it was 30, 40 army supply. It was like 90 to 120 when that fight started. And he's got a drop in the corner of the map that's not in the battle. If you lose that fight that badly, I mean, you got to pick better engagements. Clem's got mass command center that he's investing in. He's investing in endgame and winning engagements. You simply do not have a chance if you're going to let that happen. Dark, right now, he's got to have a better showing than this. This is Equilibrium. It's his best map. It's a best of 7. It's the best map he gets. Obviously, Radhuset would be vetoed by Clem. He's vetoed maybe Site Delta or whatever map it is. He doesn't want to play on Oceanborn. I don't know. Hard Lead actually might be a veto that comes out. We'll have to see. Tanks and Bio coming forward. Ghosts are being joined in. I mean, Clem is set up for late game, guys. He's already on lots of command centers that'll be turning into orbitals. He's got a beautiful spread around these ledges. This northern side of the map is, in my opinion, the best spot for Terran. This is why I don't understand this 3rd and 4th base. I feel like you've got such good expansions on the south. And yeah, there's some ledges in front of it, but in general, these are more wide open areas. I think Dark made a mistake with his expansion pattern. Ling's getting defended by planetaries. These units do get jumped on. These 5 Corruptors have definitely been paying dividends by cleaning up the Medivacs. There's only 6 out on the map. Marauder, Marine, Ghost, and Tank. 3-3 is about to kick in. 3-3 and Adrenal Gland's only about halfway done for Dark. I like that he's sending his army south. He can't fully engage. He can push this back, get a Medivac or 2, and just kind of defend the hatchery, keep it alive for a little bit longer at least. But he's got to go do something else. Blowing up some planetaries in the bottom would be good. That tank is very well positioned, though. And the top, Clem's not letting up. Clem's just going to keep forcing him to fight. He says, no, keep fighting into my tank fire. Keep fighting into my tank fire, buddy. Here we go. Massling Bane attacking on the south. Planetary will go down, but look at that tank. That tank's getting some very juicy shots off. It's defended by the Planetary. Is there enough Ling Bane to take this out? Lings could kill these building command centers. Banelings plus Zerglings might be able to get that out of the Planetary. He's going to go for it. Planetary gets a few good shots off. Gets a great good shot off. Banelings blow up some of the SCVs. They're not actually able to kill that many command centers. One of them dies. The other one doesn't have to cancel. The Planetary's defended 14 SCVs. A Planetary and a command center go down. Now, you might think that's good, but Dark's economy is not that good. He doesn't have a bank advantage. Clem is, like I said, more set up for late game than he is. Dark's units lost time is down 7,000, and he does not have mass orbitals. He doesn't have great creep spread. Clem, I mean, this is the weirdest thing I've been seeing from Clem in this tournament. It's his ability to keep taking disgustingly efficient fights. And the early game of this game was not that way, but then he took the big fight, the big defense, and from then on, we're seeing this gap widen more and more the longer the game goes. The fact is, normally I see Terran only doing that if they're cutting command centers and being 100% aggressive, but he's actually macroing at the same time, and that's what makes this frightening for Dark. Oh no, Dark! Oh my god, Clem just fumbled on the pickup on those 3 ghosts. I didn't even commentate it because I couldn't believe what I just watched. Clem fumbled on the pickup on the 3 ghosts. He tried to send his medevac back twice, and he fumbled it. Every time he tried to click it, he misclicked. And then Dark panicked, tried to box some Banelings and set them off, but he didn't box correctly, and he accidentally detonated 30 Banelings to kill 3 ghosts. It's worth blowing up some Banelings to kill the ghosts. It is not worth blowing up that many. That was, unless there was a Widowmine shot that killed them all, I'm pretty sure it was a manual detonation by Dark. Please remind me at the end of game 1 to go and check that in the replay. 15 and a half, 16 minutes in the replay. That was a disaster in terms of that last engagement. The units lost have now 7,000 resources still being maintained by Clem. Clem has more mining coming in. He's got another beautiful spready on the south side of the map. It's only a small army. The Corruptors can punish this, but you do not want to let those Corruptors get sniped. Okay, only 1 snipe connects. Not too bad. He should be able to overrun. There's no units here for Clem. It's like a few Marauders, a few Ghosts, and a few Widow Mines, and somehow he's holding back the swarm. Dark just doesn't have enough money or lava right now. He's actually got a lot of money floating and no lava. 14 lava just popped out, immediately turning it into Zerglings, but it's a very lava-intensive army, and look at the spreadies on these Ghosts. The Widow Mine's trying to get good shots off. Another good Widow Mine shot does shoot his own medevacs, and he does lose quite a few Ghosts there. I think he's up to, what, 10 Ghosts have died this game. Units lost have 6,000 resources in favor of Clem. Clem is not trading very well anymore. However, Dark is hanging on for dear life because he's got no creep control. He's got a smaller economy. Yes, I'll say it again, a smaller economy. I bring up the income tab to prove that I'm wrong. But keep in mind, the moment mules drop, and he'll do that occasionally, he'll be like, oh, wait a second, I could just drop mules. Actually, he's only got 5 orbitals. Nah, maybe it's only an even income, actually. It could, I might actually be a bit wrong. I thought he'd have 8 orbitals by now. He's only got 5. Ghosts are there. Ling Corruptor coming forward. The Ravagers as well. Trying to push things back. Oh, Widowmine drops. Oh, he's being annoying. He's already got a Widowmine down there. 3 drones. That one gets another 4 drones. He's still got a Widowmine on the south as well. Clem is just having fun flowing. He's got the Medevac Energy regen upgrade, +2 ship weapons, cloak on the way. 2nd starport coming in. Actually, sorry, that's a 4th starport. His 4th starport coming in. We did see him play a little bit of heavy Viking versus Corruptor earlier in this tournament. I wonder if he'll try that again. Looks like there are 2 Widowmines down here. Another 10 drones go down. Medevac pulling out. Widowmine's looking for the big boom booms! A decent Widowmine shot there. That one does not quite fire in time, unfortunately, for Clem, and he pulls back the mobile bio units. 14 drones have gone down. That's because this one over here just fired again as well. Finally, Dark dealing with those Widowmines, but not before some rather drastic losses. Income tab has dropped here for Dark a little bit. He's got to get extra workers out on these edge bases and get that back up to the 3,000 mineral a minute mark. Widowmine gets another decent shot. Tanks on the high ground shelling on him. These positions are just very irritating for Dark to deal with. And he's not finding the room to counterattack. And the thing is, the longer this goes, the more planetaries are being taken. Clem's not playing a mega turtle style like he normally has been recently. Like, he's only got 5 orbitals instead of the 10 or 12 that he was getting in some previous series. So let's get a few drones up there. Nice reposition by Dark. Spore crawlers and drones running around. But Clem using these libs in the late game. It's been his addition to the late game ZVT just to keep Zerg busy. And it feels like rather than Terran constantly trying to stop Niduses and drops in his main base, it's changed the dynamic to, haha, you gotta look here. Hey, you gotta look here. Hey, you gotta defend here. You gotta defend there. And forcing the Corruptors back and forth, very frustratingly so. Drones do go down. It's still a Lingbane army. Corruptors, a couple Ravagers, and a few Infestors left over. Of course, the big Unburrow Fungals are those chances for efficiency. As a Zerg player against a late game Terran, more command centers being built, extra orbitals slowly being added. And the double armory is actually adding both vehicle armor and ship weapons upgrades. Corruptor does get sniped. Clem finds a bunch of drones as well. Another 9-10 drones going down. Oh, man. Dark just doesn't have any map control. The lib spreadies are very painful as an infestor, but the units are pre-spread. What are you going to pop up and fungal? Like, you're just going to die the moment you pop up. There's nothing here to really fungal. The infestor just kind of walks past. The Widowmine's getting smeared. 14 drones, 54 dying in total this game. Looks like another infestor just got caught by that scan. Here comes the Ling Bane engagement, but the Bio Ghost Lib is unbreakable right now. Snipes landing on literally anything he can click on. Topside, double drop goes in, double drop goes out. There's a Cyclone in that drop. God knows why there's still a Cyclone in this game. Widow Mines! Decent smear! Oh no! 14 Banelings on that second Widow Mine shot. Dark is desperate. Oh my god, he's getting shot. It's a shooting gallery. He's getting shot the whole way past. This is a big problem. Dark knows he's just getting overrun there. You cannot let Clem get that much control of the game. And that was, wow. Wow. Well, let's go back to that 16-minute fight. I think it was 16 minutes, something like that, right? We saw a weird engagement where he manually detonated on these ghosts, right? Or was it a Widow Mine? Let's see. Maybe it was a Widow Mine? Oh, it was a Widow Mine. Okay. It wasn't as big of a mistake of Dark. Like, obviously, it's way worse if you actually select your own units and detonate. But that's still, I mean, great game one for Clement. Look at this. So first Widow Mine gets a decent shot. But, dude, this Widow Mine is ridiculous. It's this one here, right? And it shoots right here in the middle. Oh, look at it. Right in the middle. Unfortunately, it dies immediately. So we don't get to see the kill count. But you can see just how much Zerg died to that. The ghost fumble on the pickup actually meant the Ling Bane was way more clumped. Ooh, that's painful. Holy crudsicles. Well, that was a way to start the series. Dark now here in the bottom left side on Hecate. The Terran map pick for Clem. It's interesting. So Clem opting for a bigger map. Harder to do a direct push, but great for, I think, multi-prong. Once the Zerg has like this base, this base, this base, you've got all these different angles and like these bases just get harassed. So I think Clem is definitely going to use this as a way to play his Biomine style, where he's just attacking on all sides, Biomine Ghost. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't go for Mass Command Center on this map. Similar to that last map, which apparently Twitch chat told me he's been beating Cyril a lot on Equilibrium in online cups and regionals, which I didn't actually realize. I haven't really been keeping tally of it, but I mean, you're not meant to win that map as a Terran. But I think it kind of favors Clem's style where he's both expanding aggressively and just attacking constantly. And I've always said bigger maps with more spread out bases tend to favor the more aggressive player because you can initiate on a base over here and a base over here at the same time. Now, Zerg's meant to kind of have the mobility advantage in this matchup, but because of these choke points around this map, I think Clem can try to set up like tanks and libs behind these ledges and that sort of thing and create no-go zones that restrict Dark's freedom. I think what's really important for Dark is the early engagements when he's got a good opening, he's got momentum, he's got control. We want to see him flank in from multiple sides and really engage earlier with the counterattacks or earlier with the backstabs to encircle an army. I think too many Zerg players at the high levels, they go, okay, I've had a good start, I can just smash this army front on. And they end up, you know, there's tanks here and they attack from here and their units clump up all around these edges, getting stuck on the terrain and kind of getting stuck behind each other. And they just get wrecked in this fight. And it's like, well, there goes your lead. Now Clem's back in it. So I would like to see Dark play as if he's behind even when he's ahead, you know? And I think that's something where Dark's so good at playing well when he knows he's behind. If we can just hypnotize him, get his coach in there and say, you are behind before the game even starts. Because when Dark thinks he's behind, he plays like a bloody god. He makes amazing comebacks. He's very intelligent in how he adjusts. But he's got to have that mindset from the very beginning. Good Zergling snipe. 6 Zerglings here. You're not meant to lose any Zerglings when you have 6 of them. Reaper harass very well executed. Inject already going up in the main. No. Dark. Oh, he's about 5 seconds late on that inject in the main, and he loses another Zergling. Dark. Oof. 10 energy extra on that queen. He does get a 3rd base started. Now, he's mined a lot of gas. He forgot to pull the 3rd worker off gas. He does so now, but he's skipping Ling speed, so it looks like a roach opening. Probably wanted the option to make Ling speed if it was a 2-Rax Reaper, but because he saw the command center from Clem, he's just going to chill. Now, Clem is going 3 command center. I always feel like a Clem that you can scare into going for a double gas opening where he's got quick banshees. It's much easier to play against a Clem that is actually fearful of a Nidus Worm, that's fearful of a Ravager Ling All-In. I don't know when the last time we saw that Clem was, though. I feel like it's so hard to get Clem playing careful to disrupt his rhythm. And the thing is, if he's allowed to play a 3 command center build, he always looks way more confident. It's just, it's always been his mainstay. Now, there are other weaknesses of Clem. He almost never proxy barracks. So unlike Maru and Beyond, who mix in proxy Marine rushes and Reaper rushes all the time, Clem almost never does that. So perhaps Dark could do like a full gasless 3 hatchery opening or some sort of very greedy start to try and take advantage of Clem here. So far, though, pretty standard stuff. He does go Ling Speed, it's just heavily delayed. So we cut a bit of a corner in that regard. Not a bad idea. He hasn't really been getting supply blocked yet, so pretty good macro for Dark. Does lose 1 creep shimmer, but that's okay. Queen's coming forward to knock back the Hellion Reaper. Viking over there as well. We've got a Liberator being built. Overlord's going to get picked off by the Viking. Hellion's rotating to the left side. Hellion Reaper trying to rotate towards the main base. Piggy going to cast the weekly cup today. I'm going to skip it today, guys. I just don't really want to turn on delay. I actually turned my stream off to turn delay off today because we've got so many good games to cast from this last weekend's tournaments. And if I don't cast them now, I already had a backlog of other really good matches to cast. So I'm like, you know, a lot of players are still traveling back from this tournament. So I'm just going to try and cast these. As much as I do like playing and casting the EPT, I just don't think I can squeeze it in today. This month, December, you know, it's getting to the festive season. There's bloody work parties for people. There's social events. We got New Year's and Christmas coming up. It just kind of gets to be a crazy time. And then there's all these like last minute events going on with gaming companies and stuff as well, and marketing, people doing advertisements. It's actually a crazy time of year for me. So I would have loved to be at Atlanta live casting this event, but it's kind of a blessing in disguise that I get a bit more time to get on top of my stuff. Oh, Queen's going to come down. Hellion's trying to poke at the same time. Good reaction so far. That Liberator's going to take a lot of damage. Oh, his Lings are a little clumped. You cannot let him up the ramp. Oh, the drones pull into the Hellions. Oh, no. It's a barbecue, mate. Oh, I didn't realize Junkrat was riding his Mad Max flamethrower-mounted car into this battle. Damn. Well, a lot of those drones will be going to Valhalla, Shiny, and Chrome. The Queen does get shot down. The Hellion... Oh, the Hellions went back in. I was about to say how good this was for Clem, because his Hellions can just drive home, repair up, and then he's way ahead. And then he runs his Hellions back on creep. I don't know why he did that. That was a big misplay for him. He had 6 very damaged Hellions that he could have repaired back to full life. The Zergling, it has very high damage, but not quite able to out-DPS 2 repairing SCVs. More Zerglings coming in behind it, though. Careful, mate. Careful. Hellion gets surrounded. Marines are going to defend the mineral line, but I thought this was a very successful damage. But if you look at it in terms of raw cost, it's actually really bad. Killing drones is nice, but what's more important is maintaining presence, because now Dark can freely respread creep. Let's admit he's a little bit slow on respreading creep, but he only built 7 queens this game. Dark is playing so greedy. He's building a macro hatch and a 4th base. His 4th base is pretty late, but the fact that he only built 7 queens and hasn't rebuilt any, he's only got 2 creep queens right now. This is a bizarre play from Dark, but that is how Dark plays Lingbane macro. I've always told you guys, his Roach play is primo content. It's very clean. You can copy those builds. But his Lingbane play, generally it's greedy, and it's very much about catching his opponent off guard. Oh, Clem! Oh, ow. Oh my god, he microed both of them right into the center. 15 workers going down. Clem caught with his pants down around his ankles. He just looks at his base as a landed Viking, a handful of SCVs, and he goes, that's not what my 3rd base is meant to look like at this point in the game. That's a disaster. And now he's got a lot of pressure on him to do damage. Combat shields, 1-1, and a 3rd medevac joining on that left side. But there's Speedbanes. There's 1-1. We've got Infestors and Burrow already on the way. I've been shouting for Zergs to start mixing those Infestors in earlier. I love that Dark's doing this. Watch out, Clem. Okay, he picks up almost all of the Marines. I think actually everyone might have survived there. Going to drop in the high ground at the same time. We're going to medevac on the right side. There is a macro hatchery up. Dark is on 76 workers against 58. He's got Queens on the high ground, Lingbane on the low ground. This is a fantastic defense. The only thing we can be critical of is the fact that his creep spread's not great. Like, he's not really actively spreading tumors, but that's because Clem's throwing units into him. And the fact that he's defending that pretty damn well is in of itself enough. Clem, of course, focus fires 1, 2, 3 banelings, saves most of the Marines, gets up into the main base yet again. Get out of my face, Clem. Clem is so frustrating to play against. This is why I almost feel like playing that Lingbane Corrupted style all series long would actually be perfect. It's actually very good to actually have some sort of mobile anti-air to stop Clem being a bag of Ds with this. Comes in, gets 5 drones, gets a queen or 2. It's an Overlord. Units lost tab is pretty even though, and that is good for Dark. He's holding super solidly so far. I like that he's sitting on 70 workers as well. His 1-1 is about to finish. I really want to see Dark land a good surprise fungal. His burrow's done, but he hasn't split his infestors off, and because they're coming from the front, they will get spotted by the scan pretty easily. Clem getting surrounded in the top. He does pick up and save those Marines, but oh, he walks into fungal while distracted. Fungal Baneling says, hello, buddy. Welcome to our Lord and Savior, the fungal god, Mr. Cordyceps himself, and Clem, he's lost contact with that entire southern push force. The medevac's coming home empty. The ones on the north did save their units, but these are fantastic engagements. Clem is getting out-traded by Dark. Dark's got Vipers on the way, Adrenal Glands, his hive being done this early. To be fair, Dark's work account sucks balls, guys. He just won a fight, and he should absolutely be droning right now. There is no reason, if you're at Hive Tech, to be sitting on 68 workers. Dark is a bit slow. He's only on 14 workers on his third. His natural's not mining that gas. This base is undersaturated. He desperately needs to get a 5th base up and mining on the minerals. If you're trading better than Terran, you should be way ahead, but he's trading better whilst having a smaller economy, so Clem can still get back from this. Marines and Widow Mines pushing in. Oh, watch out for the fungal. The Infestor did die very quickly. He popped it up a little bit too close, and Clem actually takes a pretty good fight. Oh, great Widow Mine hit there as well. That was an excellent fight for Clem there, despite getting fungled. Obviously, if he wasn't fungled, it would be a god tier fight, but he got fungled, still took some damage. Drop on the left. Widow Mine does take out some of those units. That was a Viper going down. And yes, the parasitic bombs are annoying. That fungal made no sense, guys. I mean, that was the empty medevac, and it still doesn't die. Okay, Dark wasting a bit of energy there. The Marine's starting to get annoying. Dark's still down on economy. He's trying to build ultras, but he's got to find a way to get that economy up in the midst of the aggression, but Clem's not giving him room. Clem's got this medevac in the main. Gets another 8 workers. How? How is Clem creating so much damage? And oh, the Ling's getting shot by Widow Mines. Okay, good spready from Dark. Minimizes the damage. And he's going to re-drop behind there. Clem has a 4th base up behind this, a 5th base. Clem is ridiculous. You can't be letting him pick and choose where all the fights happen. He's up 20 supply. How? How is he up 20 supply? This is not fair. Clem has been getting hammered in every single engagement. And now he's just like, no, it doesn't matter. Because I micro and I macro and I multi-prong at the same time. Because I am simply faster than you. Dark always complains about this new young generation of kids being too fast for him. And I normally make fun of him and think it's a bit of a troll, but in this case, Clem is the fastest player in the world, and he is absolutely swarming from all sides. Normally it's the Zerg doing the swarming. In this case, it is the Zerg trying to hold the line. It's weird to think of the Zerglings and Banelings being the Marines from the Aliens film going, it's game over, man, there's too many of them, it's game over. But that's how Clem plays StarCraft. He's just trying to swarm the bloody bugs. Lings do get deflected from the planetary on the left side. Dark did a good job of denying the 3rd base location, and he did manage to hold this base of his own. He's got that new base in the bottom right. He does surround a bunch of Marauders. Nice engage for Dark. Oh, looks like he surrounded a bunch of them, but chasing into the planetary, the Marauders will hold strong there. The Ling's getting taken out. Cleaning up Widow Mines on the left side is Dark. The right side, he gets home. How many Infestors? We got 2 Infestors on this map. Ultra's coming out. Ling Bane as well. Anabolic Synthesis and +3 Carapace is on the way. +3 melee hasn't been started. Not enough gas. Dark is still sitting at a low worker count of 70 workers. And I get wanting to play a heavier army style, but oh, you got to be so careful. Widow Mine gets a good shot. Second one doesn't get too much. At least he's denying that base from mining. I'd love to see burrowed Zergling on the base. There we go. He does burrow a single Zergling in that mineral line, or in that command center location, I should say. Turret's going to build. Looks like Clem doesn't really have any scans available. He's only got 3 orbitals right now, so he is limited on that scans. Ultras are coming in. As I said, this is not really a map you want to turtle up on. Your bases are spread out a bit too thin. So Clem's just hanging on right now. He is down in supply. The lack of economy for Dark makes me really feel that, like, yes, there was chances to get back in it, but now Dark's rectified that. He's finally, for the first time in this game, up at 80 workers, about to go above 80. Liberator Harass is distracting him. It's being annoying, but it's not going to get all that much done. I do like this one. Sieging. Going to push those queens back a little bit, but they won't die, so not too bad for Dark. And it looks like a Liberator on the left as well. flying in from behind those orange trees. Just Dark under pressure. A few ghosts are out. They will help deal with the spellcasters most importantly, and they might occasionally be able to deal with the ultras as well if they can sit there and land snipes. Man, the Liberator Micro is frustrating. Oh, you're so irritating, Clem. Clem's just using that speed. He's saying, old man, look at this. Look at me, look at me. I'm just going to dance around your bloody spore crawlers repeatedly. And yeah, Dark's like, what the hell, man? Ling Bane trying to come in. Bit of an opportunistic strike. That Widowmine's going to ruin his day. A bunch of those Banelings. Marauders are there in the wall. Dark does lose an Ultra to a bunch of Marauders over there. Ling's trying to run into the third base, but I think Clem should be able to clean this up. Looks like the Liberator Harass finally got dealt with after many minutes of frustration. Lings do take out a bunch of SCVs in the mineral line. Nicely done. Left base, there is no way he's getting to that. This is what I'm talking about. Look how spread that base is. You don't want to move your army down through this wide open area. It's hard to get out there. We've got Infestors out here in the kind of mid-ground looking for ambushes on the right side of the map. Lings keep on funneling into that base on the right. Missile turret will go down, as will a few SCVs. Uh-oh, snipes on the Ultras. Units lost tab going to be checked in on. It's dead even right now. 17,000 versus 16-2 for Clem. Technically a very slight advantage for Terran, but not really what you're looking for as a Terran player in this matchup. 3-3 is going to be finishing soon for Zerg. It's already finished +3 attack, but not armor for Terran. 2 more gases are on the way for Dark right now. He's realizing that gas count is a little low. Minerals is the most important thing. You got to be able to rebuild Zerglings, but look at this big army coming forward. He's got 2 Infestors, but he's moved the Infestors to the left side of the map. It's weird. Like, he was getting pushed on the left, and his Infestors were on the right. Then he starts getting pushed on the right, and he moves his Infestors to the left. Dark is not keeping his Infestors spread across this map correctly, and I feel like a fungal flank on this would absolutely destroy Clem right now. Clem's got a sneaky force on the left moving in as well. Trying to bait Dark into some bad engagements. He's doing a really good job of it so far. Dark goes for the counterattack. The wall got torn down earlier. Widowmine's trying to defend. He's got to get back to his high ground. Clem's going to dive in, though, and take out this mineral line. This game is about to hit the fan right now. We are going to see a scattering of all sorts of goop everywhere. Marine Marauder on the high ground trying to hang on. Ultra's getting up there. The Infestor's going up here as well. The Bio cascading in from the south. The rest of the army of Clem's trying to come back, but watch out for the Infestor! The Infestor goes for the fungal. He gets the chain. The Marines trying to get saved by the Medivacs, but they get absolutely boomed. Clem's production has also been breached. He's trying to rally to the back, but 2 Marauders and a Widowmine will not stave off the advance. He does have a counterattack force on the other side, but as the Ultras, Banes, and Queens get together, I think Dark should be able to come out on top if he can get rid of this army. Baneley Nest going down. The production is done for. If you, as long as you deal with this army as Dark, you win the game because your base survives, his base dies. Not even going to lose the Evo. The Banelings get what I refer to as a big juicy. And look at that, the Queen in the main. No anti-air, actually. Both Medivacs do survive. Liberator's starting to get a little bit of damage there. We can keep that Liberator selected to watch its kill count in the main base of Clem. Double drop down here in the south. And the Queens, can they get rid of this? Looks like they'll finally be able to in a moment. This base is somehow still here. 1 Marauder with Medivac behind the mineral line trying to defend. Dark's going to split those Zerglings off and try to do the damage. More Ultra Ling coming in. He's saying, there's no way I'm going to let that mineral line sit there. Come on, mate. Who do you think I am? The Liberator can get a little bit of attacks, but Zerglings are not that expensive. I'm okay to kill these. The Medivacs do save the SCVs to the high ground. On the left, he's relocated his barracks or maybe rebuilt them, but he's supply blocked permanently as Clem. Clem is clutching at straws right now, whilst Dark is clutching at his big, old, important thing, and he's waving it in Clem's face and saying, get out, mate. You might have won my map pick. I'm going to win your map pick. That's how it goes. Unpredictability, as always. Amazing fungal usages in that game from Dark. Shut down a lot of Clem's aggression and does end up winning a bit of a scrappy base trade. Well played by Dark. All right. What's up, everybody? Let's go down here in the bottom right side. Clem 1-1 now with Mr. Dark. I definitely love the way Dark set up his ambushes in that game. That was pretty slick. Now, I would argue, and I've been saying this for a while, that you can actually get more Infestors earlier than what Dark just did and just skip the Banelings. And you'll have so many more Zerglings that it's actually super sick. No one trusts me on this. I don't know if you can really secure the hatcheries early enough to make it work, because you do need a very quick 4th and 5th base to support that much Zergling production, but I'd love to see it. Speak of gasless 3 hatchery builds, guys. Dark is bringing out his special build. He used to do this every game on Neo-Humanity, and he's turned it into his Golden Aura special build. He checks for proxy barracks, and then he goes and takes a 3rd hatchery, and then he plays roaches. It's a very good build. However, it is prone to being a little vulnerable to harassment if you handle it just perfectly. Not something most Terrans can pull off. Most Terrans just aren't able to get any damage, but Clem, his Reaper, can micro around, his Hellions, they could dive in because there's not going to be Ling speed and you won't have Roaches till about 5 minutes. So you're just defending with a couple of Queens and slow Zerglings and that's it. I remember someone trying to tell Idra about Infesta, Ling, and Wings of Liberty, says Nalan. Yeah, it's an oldest time strat. People, the thing is, we're seeing people go Infestas, but not that many of them. And don't get me wrong, it is nice to smash Banelings straight into the units afterwards, but I feel like if you just have a second Infestor and you land 2 Fungals, it does the same thing, you know? Arguably, if the Marines didn't stim, then they won't die to 2 Fungals anymore, because it only does 50 damage. Combat Shield Marine has 55 hit points, but I really like that style because it gives you more Zerglings to do backstabs with, as well as just a very hyper-efficient army. And I think with that army, you can sit on the 67 drones that Dark did in that last game and win, because you just don't need as much gas if you're not throwing Banelings away every time. Whether or not you're spoiling it or not, or you're just trolling, you will have your message removed from chat. And if you keep trying to do it, you will be timeouted and potentially banned. So deep breaths, Twitch chat. Starport proxy, what is this? Is he doing Liberator in the main? Oh, Clem's gonna, okay, so Clem's gonna go Liberator in the main, Hellion dive on the front. This is actually a really clever build order. Did he see no gas? No, but seeing the 3rd hatchery, he should know this build order. Dark's done it so much over the last 6 months. I mean, Clem has to know this build order. And he realizes there's not gonna be a lot of mobility to defend it. He's gonna go for the proxy Liberator. I'm not sure if this was reactive to him seeing the 3rd hatchery or if he just already was choosing to do this build for this map. He's got 2 Hellions into 2 Cyclones that'll pressure the front as well. Okay, very nice pressure that it's going to be going forward. 2 Hellions on the left. They could try to dive in the 3rd, but the Queens are well spread. Zergling's getting pushed back. There is a Creep Tumor connecting the bases. Very important for Dark to get another Creep Tumor here, connect the Creep so his Queens can move around and deflect whatever Clem throws his way. Oh, Clem's going to try and bully the Queen, but you don't want to lose too many hit points on these units. First Liberator's on the way. We should see a 3rd command center shortly. Dark kind of screwing up, leaving that Overlord in the open. Oh, man. Oh, he barely gets it to safety in time. 25 hit points. Hellions and Reapers still dancing around. First Liberator coming in. Now, we often see players just lift the starport and send it home. I would love to see a 2nd Liberator. Please. I think it's so worth it to build a 2nd Liberator. Please. Please. Gets a Creep Tumor. Nice snipe there. He's just going to lift it home. Just a single Liberator, but it's a very early Liberator, hard to deal with. The building placement on the spawning pool and the Roach Horn makes it really hard to deal with this. In general, you never want to build your buildings behind your mineral line as a Zerg, because it makes it hard to rotate Queens to defend things like air harass. Hellion Cyclone does come in there. He's going to start to pick off Roaches and Queens. Hellion's going into the 3rd base. 4 drones going down. Ooh, the Liberator actually got a Queen in the main at the same time. The Hellions are actually stacking up amazing damage. He goes back for another one. Cyclone's getting Overlord? You're kidding me. You're kidding me. I didn't think he was going to get that. I couldn't believe it. Liberator goes back in. Finally, Dark shuts down the Liberator, but 9 workers and another Queen goes down. And most importantly, he keeps his Hellion Cyclone alive. That's a fantastic start for Clem. Keep in mind, his 3rd command center is very delayed. They go 2nd and 3rd barracks behind this now. Double engineering bay as well behind the natural. But a successful early game. Dark has not been able to really just blossom drones the way he wants to. He's only got 3 Queens and 8 Roaches. And the Roaches are also having to morph into Ravagers just to defend these 2 Cyclones. Clem doesn't really need damage right now. He's just realizing, hey, I can get more damage. I might as well be as annoying as I possibly can. And Dark's getting frustrated. He's bleeding out so many Roaches right now. Finally, some good micro from Dark. Trying to get rid of these Hellions and Cyclones. Gets rid of some of them, but another Roach is going to go down. Okay, that one barely survives. 1 hit point. Hellion and Cyclone go down. At the end of the day, Dark stabilizes. He's on 61 workers. He desperately needs a 4th base. Spamming Corrosive Bile on the ground, telling I think he was trying to press Creep Tumor, and he actually went for the Corrosive Bile. But yeah, 4th and 5th base on the way. This is a good idea. I think this tells us Dark wants to swap back into a Ling Bane style. There's no need for an early 5th base with Roaches, because they don't use that much lava, but if you're planning to play Ling Bane, then that makes perfect sense. 3rd command center floating out for Terran. 10 worker advantage for Zerg. Nothing too crazy. I feel like because of the way this early game's gone, it should be ahead for Clem, but I look at the units lost tab and I'm like, well, it's not cheap doing all that aggression. The supply obviously looks great for Dark. You're like, oh, he's already ahead in supply. It's Ravager Roach supply, though. It's a bit inflated. 5th base is on the way. Link speed, 1-1 upgrades as well. This Overlord's still perving on everything. He definitely should get rid of that with the first Medivacs. And you can see from the rally point, yes, he knows that Overlord's still there and he wants to kill it. I like the safe tank positions for Clem. Clem's going to go double gas on his 3rd. Why? I guess because he wants to start 2-2 immediately when the armory finishes. But what's odd about this opening is normally Clem goes 2nd factory before armory. This time, he's prioritizing his upgrades a little bit more than he normally does, which I think makes sense. 2nd factory's just started now. He's moving out with some Marines, Infestation Pit, Baneley Nest on the way, as well as a few more Roaches. Roach speed is very late. Only now starting that is Dark. 1-1 finishes at 7 minutes 30. The army arrives at the front. He's going to stim in towards the 4th base. Creep Tumor goes down. Dark's a bit out of position right now. Oh, the lack of Roach speed really hurting. That hatchery is going to take a ton of damage. He just picks up and goes into the main. The Queens are there, and they do deflect. +2 attack starts, +2 armor, unable. 2 drones go down on the left to a single Hellion Cyclone run by. And it is slow Zerglings, so they actually are able to potentially get a bit more damage done. But good play there. There we go. Zerglings do clean it up. In the top, Marines dance around. But they have to pick up and leave. +2 armor starts, as well as Drilling Claws in the main base. Reactor building on the 3rd. And that 4th command center is halfway done for Clem. He actually picks up and drops in the main, getting himself a single drone on the gas. Dark also accidentally pulls another drone off gas, so creating a little bit of chaos on Dark's side of the map. Dark on 76 workers, not playing that low economy from the last game. And with 2 Infestors on the way, that'll be a fantastic addition. No Baneling speed just yet. I think it's something that's just being forgotten in the midst of Clem's unrelenting pressure. Clem's pushing with tanks. Whoa, 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 where are the tanks, guys? Okay, he's got 2 there, a 3rd one in the medevac. I don't know where his 4th tank is. It must have just popped out at home or something like that. I'm very confused about where the 4th siege tank is. Oh, it is up here. Oh, he's going to get the 4th base. Huge. Huge snipe. Clem accidentally sends a tank a bit far ahead of his army. Tank's going to try to move forward. He does save it, but uh-oh. He may have gone a little bit too deep here. The Marines getting jumped on by the mass. Zergling. The tanks do a bit of friendly fire. Oh, Fungal in the midst of that would have been game-changing. Dark has a 4th base on the left, so it doesn't matter that he loses 1 hatchery here, but he needs to rebuild it, keep injecting, and make sure he gets to that next step. 2-2 and Baneling speed on the way. 2-2 is 30 to 50 seconds behind the 2-2 of Clem. Clem gets his 6, 7, 8th barracks. That'll be Tech Labs. And the big thing he always forgets is when he starts Marauders off these Tech Labs, he almost always forgets Concussive Shells. I don't think he forgot it in the previous games, but I'm keeping my eyes on it because I think the big improvement he's shown this tournament is remembering 2-2 pretty frequently with very little delay and remembering Concussive in most of his games. But it's the end of a long day of StarCraft here in the Grand Finals. Big stage, nerves are heavy. So we'll see if he can remember it. Creep Tumor barely gets missed by that scan. He's got to watch out for the Fungal. We know Clem likes to try to bait the Fungals. The man runs towards Infestors with reckless abandon. Baneling's connecting on his units. His tanks are a little far forward. Is there enough Roach Ravager to clean it up? There is. Oh, Clem just got rinsed. Losing most of his siege tanks. And his drop in the top got shut down. Dark just needs to respread creep. The one thing I do miss from Dark in these scenarios, a lot of players, when they shut down a Terran attack, they respread creep. You can see them do a full macro cycle and do that. Dark thinks more about how he can kill the Terran. He's going Nidus Worm, Adrenal Viper, and he's looking for a micro. He's not really spreading his creep, and that's something where he will lose map control. Like, he'll spread a single tumor, but there's no creep respreading on the north, none in the middle, and that is going to hurt him the longer this game goes, because Clem is relentless. He'll keep attacking, and any time he's fighting off creep, it's going to be heavily Terran favored. Widowmine's Art caught out, not really burrowing there. A bit of a derpy engagement, honestly, for Clem. The lack of Overseer being ready on the front, though, means they do still fire. Vipers are here. Spore Crawlers coming up. The Vipers don't have Parasitic Bomb just yet. Those drops know their days are numbered. Can't be diving in with the drops unassisted, or Parasitic Bombs will end them. 6th base up top for Dark. 77 workers against the 79 of Clem. This map is an odd one, because your bases are once again quite spread out. However, I've seen some players try to turtle it up. I just always wonder how. Because if you take this base, do you build Planetary out here? And then how do you take this base up here? It's so far apart. So I honestly feel like there's just all these big wide open areas where Zerg can swarm you there, here. Defending from the high ground's an option. I did see Beyond one time make an orbital on this base, so we could just lift it, run the SCVs away, and defend with tanks on the high ground. I thought that was a pretty cool move. Nidus Worm #1 tries to go up in the main base. Immediately stuffed by Clem. And now that Clem knows there's a Nidus Worm, he should be ready for the next one. Drop in the top, does well. Widowmine smears some Zerglings, but the Viper's here. Double Parasitic Bomb means both drops will die. No saving those units. The bees! Ah, they do fall into the pink water. As good a resting place as any. They fought for the cause. They fought well. Units lost tab very similar. Dark's actually being a little more efficient. I would like to see some Infestors here. Remember, he lost all 3 Infestors this game so far. I'd love to see those rebuilt. He does have Burrow. He's got a big army. But he's just Ravager, Lingbane, Viper focused with an Ultra Cavern on the way. Clem's moved out. He's taking this 5th on the left, and I think that's going to be your attack angle. Opportunistically wanting to dive on that would be a good move. There's only one Overseer in the mix against a lot of Widowmines. Oh, look at this. Clem's dodging Corrosive Biles with Widowmines. Oh my god, he's so annoying! And look at that. That one gets dragged into the army a little bit. It's not a giant shot, but it's still just frustrating. Clem's so annoying with his micro. He just does things other players don't. That's why it's such an interesting match, Dark versus Clem, because they both are much more sensitive with the micro than anyone else. Oh, Command Center takes a big shot. Big Widowmine smear. Parasitic Bomb on the Medivacs. Bio trying to spread across. Biles do take out a Medivac. Nidus in the top right gets cleared. Okay, Dark's got a bank advantage, but it's not a massive one. He has to make up his mind right now on what his next step is. He's playing against full Biomine Ghost. And I think pure Lingbane Viper can do it, especially... I mean, you got to get 1 or 2 Infestors out. Just 1 or 2 good Fungals can really contain him. But notice he's taking... Yeah, okay. No, he's going to play the long game. So Dark taking these bases, he needs to mine out the gold, mine out the top right. You're probably never going to be able to mine this base. That's too close. But if you can fully mine out the gold and the top right, you will win the long game, even if Clem beats you in efficiency by a lot. Clem has to spend way more money on command centers. He has to spend a lot more money on all those little pieces. So, yeah. Queens plus Spore Crawler clean up Widowmine drop. Nicely done. In the bottom left, Widowmine drop gets a few drones. That's getting cleaned up as well. I mean, these are cost for cost positive trades for Dark. He's still ahead in the units lost tab. But now that Clem knows about the gold base, he's like, there is no way I'm going to let that mine. He does not want to let that stay up. But this gives Dark an opportunity to take some half-decent fights. It's just, look how far spread back Clem is. I really love Clem's spread. I think Dark needs to come in from both sides, left and north at the same time. The Marine Marauder stimming down there, very dangerous move. Doesn't have enough space to pick up all those units. He can pick up most of them. Oh, he's getting jumped on! Oh, he's getting jumped on! Oh, the Widowmine's friendly firing, not really getting the good shots off that he wanted. Viper's throw, Parasitic Bomb, and the Viking there. He does pull that back towards the Medivacs. Overall, pretty good fight there for Dark. He's keeping his gold base mining as well. So this is doing 2 things. You're luring Clem into the open, you're out trading him, and you're getting your gold base up. Now, obviously, Clem is getting mass command center up, so he's preparing for the late game, which is why Dark needs to be fully mining this base, and he should be mining the gases on both of them as well. Ah, man. How many years? I've been shouting about this for so many years. When a Terran pulls into a turtle stance, guys, fully saturate the base. This should have 14 out of 12. This one should have 20 out of 16. But he's just not doing it. Dark is so clearly focusing on this as his win condition is, I'm going to stay a low-tier mobile army, deny bases, and mine out the forward bases while you're turtling. But you have to do it now. He should, in the 10 to 15 minute mark, that's when you can mine these bases out. Once Clemmer has mass command center up and he's investing only in army because all of his upgrades and infrastructure are done, he's just going to be attacking you. Libs, Widow Mines, his pushes are going to be coming out, drops. Right now, Clemmer has to kind of turtle a bit and add all these command centers and be very defensively minded. I'm saying this in a frustrated manner because Cyril made the exact same mistake in some of his matches recently against Clem. A few other players have done this. And for me, it's baffling. Why are we mining off these bases that are so safe back here when you could be mining off the front? It's a huge strategic mistake. And don't get me wrong, Terran's been so aggressive, they haven't been turtling lately, but Dark should have been mentally prepared for this. He watched Clem in his previous 2 series turtle up when he was forced to. He still plays aggressive for the early and mid game, but once it gets to a certain point, he will mass command centers, he will set up late game defense, and to punish that, you must mine out his resources on his side of the map. This is probably one of the most frustrating things to me as a caster, is ranting about this for 3-4 years and seeing it so rarely get taken advantage of by the top players, even though their opponent's goal is clearly very static. That's a nice move. That's a big move for Dark. Takes out a bunch of SCVs in the lib. This is a huge move. I don't know about continuing to attack in there. Oh, there was a Widow Mine into his Banelings. Bile on that's pretty good. Losing a few Ravagers, I actually feel is quite good at this point because I think he had too many. Nice counter push from Clem killing a base. I don't think he mined too much, but he's just... Dark He's gonna deal with a drop in the main. Oh, the parasitic bombs. This is a crazy move for Clem. He's gonna get punished big time. The Vipers, you don't want to lose those Vipers to the Cyclones. Get the Vipers out of there, Dark. Okay, Dark's gonna come up with the Zerglings to defend it. The Medivacs are all getting popped. The Viper's trying to suck more energy. Oh my god, he's gonna lose these Vipers. No, they barely survive. He barely survives, forces that army, what's left of it, the dregs, to pick up and pull back. Dark is no longer mining the gold either. The Widowmine drop harass put him off that. And as long as Clem denies you mining these bases, we know in the long run Terran's more efficient than Zerg. Even though this game he's been less efficient the whole game, he's getting up way more infrastructure, whereas... So basically, Clem's money is building into more value, mass orbital, mass scans, mass planetary, more upgrades. Dark's money is sitting there. His production tab's empty. And understandably so, but that's why, because you can't invest in as much infrastructure as a Zerg, it's just army into army into army, you've already made all your upgrades, you've got to mine those bases out. And to not be doing that shows a massive lapse in Dark's strategic understanding. Something which is going to allow Clem to potentially get back in this game. Clem is still miles behind in terms of the bank, but he now is up to 6 orbitals with more morphing. He's got a new command center up. He's trying to poke forward here with a little spread of ghosts and mines. I still think Dark could absolutely strike it and just destroy this base and then rotate to the north. He needs to get rid of this one. It's actually quite undefended right now, but Clem is somehow keeping him on the defensive. I think it's the Lib harass and the mine drop harass. It just keeps going. It's just, here's a Liberator, here's a mine drop, here's a Liberator, here's a mine drop. This seems to be the secret to Clem's play in the late game right now. Dark's fed up with it. He abducts a bunch of ghosts in, which is pretty nice. Attacking around a bit of a corner, but there's just not that many units here. The Biles take out 3 Liberators. Corruptors in the mix as well. Banelings clear the mineral line. Dark says, oh, all of your army is focused on defending those edges. You're not defending the center, are you? And he capitalizes huge. I think you should stay and kill the command centers. Try and jump on those ghosts, but looks like the command centers will survive. I kind of feel like, obviously it's dangerous staying and getting sniped. Probably a good pullback timing, but I would have been tempted to stay if I was in Dark's shoes. Dark pulls back. He's remaxing on Ultras. I definitely want to see a lot more Banelings in the mix. This bottom base is so easy to pick off now. Clem's attacking him with a handful of Ghosts and Marauders. Clem right now is basically one of those little creatures that tries to scare off the Predator by standing up on its hind legs and fanning out its neck and waving its arms around in the air. Clem is fighting a bear. Dark is a big old grizzly. And honestly, Clem is just trying to scare him back by aggressively running towards the bear and hoping the bear gets confused. If Dark just smashes this base, rotates to the north, I can't see Clem getting back in this game. Yes, he's got a lot of infrastructure and orbitals up, but it's only 6 orbitals, it's not 10. And look at that, nice engage there. The Corruptor's coming after those Medivacs. And he's got to kill the base. It's wide open. I think he's overestimating Clem's defensive position right now. He rotates around the right side. The Bio drops behind that base. Oh, he's going to go to the right. That is where most of Clem's army is, though. But is Clem prepared? He's going to have to pull back behind his natural. This looks like a pretty decent engagement angle. Good pullback into the natural by Clem, though. Clem's doing a fantastic job of defending parasitic bombs on the Vikings. Vikings getting taken out by Corruptor parasitic bomb. A lot of the Ultras and Zerglings do get taken down here, but he kills a bunch of the Corruptors as well, Liberators as well. Units lost tab is still 4,000 resources in favor of Dark. Dark is destroying the trading right now. He's still not mining the top right. He's still not taking the gases, and he's actually running out of gas right now. He hasn't started mining these. Dark is miles ahead. He's got 5,500 minerals. He just needs to remake Ling Bane, go again, and take gases at the same time. He's got a ton of workers oversaturated on the third. The natural is also oversaturated. It looks like yet another Liberator as Clem does not stop this entire tournament. It gets to late game. It is just cure Liberator, cure Widowmine drop over and over and over again. Dark right now is going for another wave. He very well may be finishing Clem off right here, right now. His Banelings are really far behind, though. This is like the attack on Equilibrium. Way too spread out. Widowmine splashes his Zerglings, and a wise pullback for Dark. Committing in there would have been a big mistake. Sporecrawler finally dealing with the Liberator. Not before it's a massive nuisance, though. Queen's coming down there as well to help defend. In the top right, the hatchery goes down. He never mined a single resource, despite having control of that for 6 minutes. For those who don't know, your main base half mines out at 8.5 minutes of the game. 6 minutes means he could have basically mined 40% of that base if he transferred it to it straight away. He has not, though, and Dark has given up that opportunity. Still got Lingrun base coming in. I mean, this base is still very vulnerable, as is this northern one. He has to commit his whole army to just smash one side, destroy the base, pull back, rotate, remax, smash the other. This is the classic way you do this in Zerg vs. Terran. He's been very fearful. I think he thinks there's more Widow Mines and tanks around here than there really is. Dark, afraid of that high ground position. He's going to come in, though. I mean, it's just a pack of Bio, but he's afraid. Dark backing away. He's building Infestors right now to try and catch the Bio. I mean, he has been more efficient pretty much the entire series. He's still 600 value higher than Clem. But he's not taking more gases. His gas bank is very low. And right now he's got the bank advantage. Like, he needs to be trading and denying these bases and keeping Clem small. But now Clem's got a big bank because he's just letting him mine from this. Clem actually has more workers right now. Dark's making more banelings. Dark needs to get a move on. He's showing very little urgency. Ling Bane styles are about keeping the Terran on less bases than you, smashing through them and mining up more of the map. Dark's not doing that. He's going to go for a big attack here, hoping to catch the army out of position. Oh, these Widow Mines are very dangerous. Oh, another big Widow Mine. 3 big Widow Mines in a row. And then he just runs away because the Ghosts have got a good position on the Ultras. 1 or 2 good Fungals could do very well. The army's getting F2'd. You can really tell. I mean, he should just rotate south and kill this base. The whole army's up here. There's not much on the south. There's a few Liberators, sure, but he's got to make a decisive move, and he's got to do it soon. He's giving Clem way too much time to get prepared. Clem might sandwich him now. He's kind of setting himself up to get sandwiched. Dark is stepping into a trap. This is a big mistake right now. This is not a good angle. He's getting caught. Army coming in from both sides. He does land a Fungal, but only on a single Ghost. He tries to ambush the north side and move there, but Clem is way too quick. The Lings are getting cleaned up. The south side gets completely wrapped up. It's all about this attack on the north. The Banelings get through. Some of the Marauders and Ghosts. Clem trying to spread backwards, trying to hang on. As long as he holds onto this planetary, he should be okay. The Ravagers will take out the command center. The Ling Bane do trade in there, and you know what? Once again, he actually killed the natural as well. A bunch of depots and a production building. Somehow Dark is trading better than Clem, but he's letting the top right mine. He's letting the bottom left mine. The bottom left doesn't really matter at this point. This base is mostly mined out, but Dark has to use his mobility. You smash up the guts, you rotate to the far north, you take it out, you rotate back to the south. He's not showing that killer instinct on positioning we're used to seeing from Dark. Let's swap to his camera right now and get inside the head of Dark. Clem's just hanging on for dear life, but he's got enough money now that as long as Clem's production doesn't get broken, he should be okay. Corruptors clear up a few Liberators. Now, there is a few Vikings out, so I wouldn't really advise a Broodlord swap. If Clem was playing heavy siege tank, that's the golden rule. I've seen a lot of people commenting on my videos and my Twitch chat. They always criticize me when I say that Broodlords break defensive tank styles. They say that's not true because they have Ghosts, and if there's Ghosts beat Broodlords. Completely incorrect. If you have Ghosts and Vikings, or Ghosts and Thors, Ghosts, Vikings, Thors, if you have a mass Ghost count, that's absolutely true. But if you've only got a few Ghosts and you've got a ton of siege tanks, you get destroyed by a Broodlord swap that catches you off guard. This game, though, there's no tanks at all, so Broodlords are not an option. Yeah, you could keep trying Nidus Worms. Drops aren't really going to get in. Very hard to get Nidus Worms past the sensor towers as well. So I think for Dark, you got to stay on this mobile army, but he's out of gas right now. He's only got... Ooh, good EMPs. Good EMPs for Clem. The Burrow Infestors standing next to each other, a little bit sloppy. He loses both of them. Oh, chasing this army is a terrible idea. Oh, the Widow Mines! Oh my god, those Widow Mines, 29 kills on one, 25 on the other. The Vikings smash the Corruptors. Oh, big Parasitic Bomb does do some damage, but Dark's micro is a little bit lacking. He's kind of headbutting into this. The Ultra gets sniped as well. The Liberator in the bottom left. Is this like the 25th Liberator in this game? 19 libs have died. Still denying mining on the gold. Dark's got 5,500 minerals. He doesn't have any gas mining. He starts 2 gases right now. But he's only got 47 workers. His workers are massively oversaturated on some of his minerals. On that third base, he's not got that many workers. He needs more gas. He's got 5k minerals in the bank. But remember, he mined this money much earlier than Clem did. Clem's mining right now is way better than his, and it'll continue to be way better. Dark needed to use his momentum when he had the advantage, and now Clem has a bigger mineral and gas bank and an army that is only marginally smaller. This is a terrible position to be in for Dark. It's gone from advantage to disadvantage, and it was simply letting Clem expand a little bit too much, being a little bit too slow on taking the gases, though that didn't really slow him down that much. I would say it was more just he hasn't been denying these bases. He hasn't been gathering his whole army. Like, his first 2 attacks through the middle were amazing, but then he kept attacking through the middle. The reason it worked the first 2 times is Clem didn't expect it. Since then, though, he just has never committed to destroying a corner base, and that's a huge mistake. I mean, Clem cannot be everywhere at once. You are Zerg. You are playing Massling Bane. Mobility is the name of the game. This is not a good fight, though. Has to pull back. Liberators are building up. I mean, Clem's playing like a monster. The fact that he's building a planetary, he realizes how shit this position is in the corner, and he's amazed that Dark's given him the time to build an extra planetary to reinforce it, to at least make it problematic to remove this. But that took him about 5 minutes to get set up. 5 minutes. Dark's going to go up the guts again. 5th time lucky here. Big parasitic bombs could be massive. No! He doesn't get the parasitic bombs off. EMP landing on the Vipers. He had plenty of opportunity there. Dark fumbles the bag. The Vikings still might get overwhelmed by the Corruptors. Orbitals are getting taken down, which is not bad. Dark, though, is spending his last resources on this. He needs to get rid of the entire army. No, and look at that. The Vikings are winning the trade. Bile does take out a bunch of medevacs and Vikings. Orbitals are falling. Dark does not have a lot of money to reproduce. His income is about half of Clem's right now, and he is going to have to pull back, tail between his legs. Dark had momentum. He had such good trading. Excellent engagements. I'm telling you, Dark's micro, his engagements were absolutely god tier in this game. But unfortunately, his strategy was lacking. He had a 15-minute window to mine out the corner bases, and that is a big mistake for him. Look at when he took this base in the top right. He had a massive window to mine out that top right and that bottom left from about 14, 15 minutes in, and he just never did it. Yeah, you can see he goes up here and takes these bases around this time. He did mine out most of the gold minerals, which is good, but he just never mined this top right. Could have fully saturated that from 14 minutes, and that would have been a game changer. But not doing that, combined with not showing enough intensity with remaxing and bashing this planetary, remaxing and bashing this planetary, I think Dark could have kept Clem on 4 bases. With the mineral advantage that he had here, the resource advantage, that was huge. And I got to give props to Clem, because mistakes do not happen in a vacuum. Why did Dark make these strategic errors? It's because Clem is a dickhead. Like, I am talking massive asshole. He just did not stop Widow Mine dropping and sending Liberators in all game. It was non-stop. Every single time, Dark should have been taking a second to spread creep, to transfer workers, to think about his strategy and set up for the next wave. There was another Widow Mine drop, and another Widow Mine drop, and another Liberator. Dark's maxed right now. He's wasting time hunting down Widow Mine drops when his army should be killing planetaries for free. And Clem uses this time to make another planetary, to get more Liberator Siege, Sensor Towers, turrets. So Clem's usage of Liberator and Widowmine Harass has been a big problem for Dark. I don't know if he wants to build a bit more, like 3 or 4 spores and spines per base on the edge bases that keep getting hit. But he's got to find a way at some point to just ignore those drops or send some minimal number of units to deal with it and keep pushing, because you cannot let the Terran slowly build command centers, slowly mine their side of the map, and then slowly catch up to you while you're just sitting on 50 workers for 10 minutes, not really making a big play. Strategic errors for Dark in the midst of some of the best engagements, way better than Serral, way better than Solar, way better than any other Zerg has shown in this tournament. Dark's trading is off the charts, but unfortunately, strategy lacking. All right. Clem is now up 2-1 after an incredible comeback and going into hard lead. His map choice. Wait. Map 4. So wait, it wasn't map 1 Equilibrium, Hecate, that last one. Oh no, so the last one was Golden Aura, was Dark's map pick. Right, yeah, okay, so we're back onto Clem's map. That makes sense. Apparently Dark vetoed Alcyon, by the way, guys, which I was not expecting. Clem, of course, vetoing Radhuset Station. He hates that map. Played it a bunch of times early on and then was like, never again. Not in this matchup. But dude, what a great comeback for Clem. And Dark, his engagements were just amazing. Amazing engagements, but you can't just have amazing engagements, you know? StarCraft is a holistic game. There's a lot of different things. And Dark, it's kind of crazy because, like, I feel like he's still so able to outplay any player in the world. Oh, Clem. Oh, you lucky boy, you. 1 hit point on the Reaper and it survives. Lucky boy. Well done. Gets a Zergan kill as well. So as I was going to say there, wait a second. Dark's going double inject. He's doing a Ling Flood. Normally, you want to put a creep tumor down nice and early. He doesn't want Clem to scout the lack of creep. This is actually a tell, guys. If you see a quick third and no creep tumor on the front, the Zerg is always going to be doing a Ling Flood with a quick Ling speed. Almost always. Probably can't read into that on ladder play because people do random stuff. But I'm pretty sure Dark's about to build a big wave of Zerglings. I could be wrong. And it's Dark. Remember that Dark's build orders are random at the best of times. Yeah, he's just droning. Never mind, guys. Dark's just doing Dark things. Casually deciding to not spread creep this game. Fair enough. Oh! Funka is pointing out that apparently on the live camera feed, you could see Dark get visibly annoyed when that Reaper got away. That's kind of good to feel. I get so pissed off when the Reaper barely slips away like that. It's actually a little bit triggering. But it's kind of weird to see that happen to Dark. So yeah, Dark's just doing the 5 Zergling run by. He's making a few more Lings behind it. Nice pull into the pocket there. And this is going to force the Hellion Zone. But because Clem's reactions are so quick, He doesn't want to lose the Zergling, so he just wastes a bit of mining time, forces the Hellions home, and goes with that. 10 Zerglings on the way, 2 more Queens building. Viking coming out for Clem. That's interesting. So he's going to go a Viking. There are 2 Overlords on his side of the map, so getting 2 guaranteed kills with a Viking makes it pretty much always worth it. And it will be a Liberator after the Viking. Interesting. Overlord goes down, Marine and Viking there. Ooh. Good D. Only losing 1 drone, getting rid of a few aliens. Unfortunately, he's losing Overlords. Dark needs to build like 4 Overlords right now, or he's going to be supply blocked for a while. Aliens are coming forward, Lib coming out. 3rd command center is done, 2nd and 3rd barracks on the way. We should be seeing 2 gases into double E-Bay. He might put the engineering bays in the wall off, because otherwise his wall off's going to be very delayed. There we go, double gas does go down. Aliens are hanging out. Roach Warren goes down for Dark, so he's going to go 6 queens only, so very light on the queens. Very greedy build order. And he's trying to make it look like a potential Ling Bane build with the queen Ling focus, and then he's just like, bam, 6 gas. The Roaches most likely. Yeah, he should be taking these gases in a second. Liberator going around that left side. So I'm just going to try to go in for the Scouty Scout. The double engineering bay does go down kind of late on that double engineering bay, but still earlier than the Evo chambers for Dark. It's getting closer to 6 minutes. As long as you get double Evo chamber by about, say, 5:45, you still have a decent timing to potentially hit a 1-1 Roach attack. But if you don't get that up in time, usually you're just using the Roaches defensively. Double Evo does start at 5:45. 1-1's already started for Terran. 4th base on the front for Dark. Nice quick 4th base. I like that he's deflected everything so well, guys. Liberator just kind of flying around the map right now, going around the right side to come back in. There's already a Spore and a Queen in position. Dark's on 65 workers. If he drones this 4th right now, he could get a massive economy start. What's kind of weird about the frontal 4th, though, is it's such an easy push path for Terran from there to your base, right? It feels like it's a hop and a skip from their base to your base. I guess that goes both ways, though, as 1-1 range upgrades, Roach speed, and mass Roach production starts. Dark is definitely getting a good army out. He could still drone this 4th, and something I noticed with Dark is he very rarely pre-drones a base. Oh, Spore Crawler's uprooted. What are we doing? Oh, slight mistake there for Dark, and look at how good Clem is with that Liberator. Where's the Queen, guys? Oh, he pulled all of his queens to the front, because Dark's really lazy, guys. He keeps every queen on one control group, and he often just panic pulls it whenever there's harassment coming. Now he goes back to inject. Finally, the Queen gets down here, but the Queen could have got a lot more damage on that Liberator if it was down here earlier. Clem. Oh, he's going to siege on the Queen. Maybe not his best siege up there. Looks like a bit of a silly choice there, and that's a good cleanup for Dark. Dark's massing Roaches. 9 Overlords building. That's too many Overlords, actually. He's going to go above 200 capable supply, I believe. But that's okay. Better to not get supply blocked. 1-1's going to finish in about 50 seconds. So it's going to be a 7 minutes 50 timing. Tanks are very safe right now. 4th command center is building. He's got a 2nd factory with a tech lab on it. Does Clem. And Clem's building 2 tanks at a time. Now, the trick with defending this attack, when it comes, first of all, Clem doesn't know it's coming. If he could fly in with his Viking over the 4th mineral line, see no drones, he'd know this is coming. You want to keep everything at home. Do not move out with drops. Keep your tanks far back behind your buildings, maybe even on the high ground, but you want them all kind of covering each other. This tank down here is very far apart from the other tanks. He scans. He scans. He sees Roaches coming out. He sees no hive. He knows this is an all-in. Clem with some fantastic scouting. He pulls his Marines and Hellbats back. He knows what's happening. And look at this. He's trying to set up right now, putting his tanks in very safe positions. He's going to try and set up a defensive stance. Now, the trick is you can lose every worker on this 3rd and still be miles ahead, but you need to use them to buffer for your army. You got to respect this push. Clem's macro has been pretty good, but he's down 50 army supply right now. Roach Ravager tearing down the rocks. Ravager's flanking on the right side. These tanks are exposed. He's got to be careful with these tank positionings. Those Ravagers could buy all those tanks down. His Marines are balled up. I'd prefer him spread to both sides. Clem in a bit of a ball. He will intercept the south side, but you can see those tanks on the north are getting taken out. Biles do take them down. Roach is running forward. Those 2 tanks in the mineral lines doing fantastically. Biles take out one of them. There is still a tank on the high ground, starting to let its force be known. The SCVs did not get pulled. Clem! He's not respecting this push at all. He is just headbutting it with the Marines. And you know what? It might not matter. He loses all but the 1 tank on the high ground. He's got the Marines there. Will the next wave be enough for Dark? 24 more Roaches being built. Dark starts 6 drones. Dark's done. Dark knows he can't break it. That's not enough damage. And that should probably be game over because he lost a lot of Roaches and Ravages there, guys. 9 Ravages, 40 Roaches. The units lost have 2,000 resources in favor of Clem. Clem is building 2 tanks at a time. He's already back to 3 siege tanks, which will give him the range advantage. If he can get these Marines healed up, I think he's going to be just fine here. Good pullbacks by Clem. Clem hangs on. He's got a 4th base going up on the right. This is a disaster. Dark went for a big all-in attack. And this is such a good way in a tournament to punish a Terran who's, you know, playing a bit risky, but the problem is Clem scanned. Clem did not just go on autopilot and move out with all of his Marines and get caught by your attack with his pants down. He recognized what was happening. He positioned correctly. I think he should have pulled the SCVs. If he pulled the SCVs, he could have kept all the tanks alive. On 4 command centers, you rebuild your worker count in no time, and you're basically pushing with a maxed army of 2-2 Marine tank right now. As it is, it's fine though. Clem kept the workers alive. Definitely riskier than it needed to be, but hey, he's got a double drop on the other side. These guys are going to stim into that main base. Dark's way out of position. He's sending Lings. That's not enough units to deal with this. Oh, Dark, that's not enough units to deal with this. You need... Dark? Oh my god, he's not sending enough to deal with this. He drops a single bile. The lair is going to go down. Oh, absolute disaster there for Dark. Clem's like, dude, I can just stimmy. I don't even need to siege this tank. I'm in a great position right now. You are desperate. Yeah, you can kill a center tower. I don't care. I got a 5th command center building. 3-3 has not begun yet for Clem, but 5th command center. He's already got 5 barracks. Sorry, 8 barracks are already up. You know, I forgot to check in on concussive shells, by the way, in those earlier games. I don't think he's been forgetting it too much in this series. He's been pretty on point, man. Files on the tanks going down. Marine Marauder running forwards. Feel like Clem has been really... Oh, ow. I was about to say, Clem's been really in the zone today. He's well on his way to getting a 3-1 advantage. Dark is a wizard, though, and I've seen him come back from here many times before. The problem is... Wait, he didn't even build an infestation pit before the lair went down? He can't even make infestors. Oh, he's dead. This is beyond game over, guys. Not only did he lose the lair, he didn't even start an infestation pit, which means no infestors. He doesn't have a baneling nest. He's got nothing. Roach Ravager scales terribly. Clem is improving the quality of his army and economy, and Dark is stuck in the 7-minute phase of this game of me make Roach Ravager, a few Zerglings to tank some siege tank shots. Doesn't matter how good his fight is. Clem's got a much higher quality army. Now, Clem does move these tanks a bit far forward. I will admit, the rest of his tanks are a little far back. Does lose a few of those and a medevac, but he's got Marines running in from the right side as well. That's a bit of a misclick by the looks of it. And Clem just microing in and out. Dark taking about as good of a fight as he possibly could. Fantastic Ravager micro. But there is way too many tanks in this game. What the hell? And his baguette is large and firm. Extra crusty. Dark just can't get through that crusty exterior, you know? His teeth unable to crack the Terran armor in this one. I like Dark's choice to throw out a big all-in, but Dark is desperate. He was way behind, and it's always awkward when you're way behind. You maybe try to find something with a low-tier army. But because he lost his lair, it's basically stuck Dark in a corner. Where strategically, he's just like, he hasn't even restarted his lair. Oh my god. Yeah, I think Dark is basically, he's in that kind of mindset where he's like, well, what can I do? Like, after you kill the lair, what can I do? So he starts a lair, he starts melee. He hasn't transferred workers. You know, he's trying to take a 5th base. He's not really been respreading creep at all. Because this is Dark. Dark is a bit of a tunnel vision player, let's be honest. He does like to just pull off sneaky attacks and micro his heart out. He is a micro-oriented player, one of the best in the world. And Clem is also a micro-oriented player. And I think Dark, tactically, is a little smarter than Clem in the past when he was beating Clem a lot. But Clem is just so much better than him on, like, the I'm macroing and microing and harassing and I'm scanning and scouting and reacting tactically to what you're doing. It feels like Clem is just so well prepared these days. Tank line goes pretty far back. I don't know if you're going to get through this whole army, Dark. That is a big army of Ravagers, but they are getting shot down by the Marines and tanks. Clem trying to fall back at the same time. He's got an army on the other side killing the Queens, the Roaches. The Roach Warren goes down. 18 more Roaches are building. The wall falling, but look at this. This tank on the high ground blasting right now, getting some big shots off. This tank up here getting some big shots off as well. Oh, he's unsieging it. That's cute. He's going to try and pull back out of bile range. What's he doing with this siege tank? Oh, Clem. He's pulling it literally out of bile range while pulling the bile on the left. That tank is now firing from the south. Absolute savage. The lair just got killed on the other side of the map. Dark has to tap out. Great defense of the 1-1 roach timing by Clem. All right. In the top left side of the map, Clem, 1 game away from getting his first Premier Tournament Finals. And I got to tell you, if the nerves are going to kick in, this is the moment where Clem needs to calm down, take a breath, and do not think about holding that trophy. He's got to find a way to stay focused in the moment and play some A-tier StarCraft. On the other hand, if it was anyone other than Dark, I'd say he's got to find a way to not tilt, but honestly, I don't think Dark is tiltable so much as just his strategy is, the last game, you know, it's a fair effort. He maybe could have sped up the timing a little bit. He did a good job with the sneaky roach timing, but just wasn't sneaky enough, I guess. Kind of gave away what he was up to, potentially. I think the Liberator Harass scouted a fair bit of what he was doing, and from there, it was hard to catch Clem off guard. I don't mind a player trying a build like that, but I think it's really, for me, it's the previous game. Before that, game 3, that was the one we saw the big strategic errors, and I think we want to see more of that amazing engagements. The early Infestors. Dark has dominated with Infestors on Hecate earlier. He looked pretty damn good with... Actually, it was mostly Vipers, right? Game 3 on Golden Aura. This is a smaller map. It's a bit more of a Terran map, Oceanborn. It's been the 3rd pick for Clem, right? Hecate number 1. Hardlead number 2. Oceanborn number 3 seems to be the order of maps that Clem has picked. Drones pulled off gas here. So he's going to be going for a quick 3rd base with this timing. This is looking like a modified modern Clash opening, guys. The old fast 3rd hatchery attempt. Going to get some damage on the SCV. Reaper is coming across the map. And that SCV is blocking. His job is just to buy time until that Reaper arrives. Reaper's getting close, but he's not here yet. And at this point, Dark, you got to preemptively get in the gas. Otherwise, you're going to lose the drone. You got to do the gas steal now. Yeah, good job. Because once the SCV gets there, the SCV can block one gas. The Reaper can block the other. And then you've got nowhere to hide, but well done. Reaper goes in for a bit of harassment, and the drone pops out. That SCV's 1 hit from death. Oh! Oh! The SCV's blocking him from doing the gas steal! The gas... Oh! Beautiful micro. Clem was 1 shot from death. But as long as you stay next to the gas, he can't fit an extractor on it, as it takes up slightly more space than the gas itself. A nice micro for Clem. And, well, that's an accident. He accidentally rallied a Marine across the map. Clem playing fast and loose. He should get punished and lose that Marine, I believe. Yeah. Good micro there by Dark. And he wants that Zergling so bad. He's like, oi! Oi! Oh, he's going to get it. Oh, there's 2 SCVs exposed on the low ground. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, Clem getting a bit excited with his forward micro, losing 2 SCVs. And that one is going to hide there. Nicely done. Hellions are starting. 3rd command center is on the way. Does he see it? Doesn't see the 3rd command center. Zergling vision is kind of weak, but it is what it is. SCV is pulled down there. Zergling speed finally starting, as well as 2 more queens. Wait, was Dark supply blocked? Oh, gosh. I wasn't paying attention, but it would be very traditional for Dark to handle an early game interaction really well. You to say, oh, he's going to be way ahead his opponent, then you look back and he's supply blocked the whole time, so he's actually behind, even though he out-microed his opponent and tactically did a great move. I don't think he did. I think he had a slight supply block on 44, but I don't think he hit a 36 supply block. I think his worker count looks pretty damn nice. His queen count's not that amazing, but the creep's looking solid. Reaper Alien comes in, doesn't get the creep tumor. That will regenerate. Nice. Good D by Dark. I want to see that game 6, that game 7. I'm cheering for Dark unabashedly right now, even though I've seen Dark win World Championships. He's been in multiple World Championship finals. He won 2019. He was the runner-up 2016. Obviously, Dark's won so many tournaments. Clem's never won a Premier LAN tournament. Winning this tournament would be great. Might not be a World Championship, but a Premier tournament is no easy task. 2nd gas going down. What is... Dark's going for 3 gas very early. No Roach Warren, though. No Lair. Is he playing Mutalisks? What is this? Dark's doing a special Dark strategy, guys. I don't know. Spores in the main and the natural? Queens are relying on defending the 3rd. He's still only playing 7 queens. He's been playing very low queen count this series. Liberator's coming in from the south. It's the one undefended base. Dark not reacting just yet. There we go. Pulls the drones. Good reaction. The Reaper of Clem refusing to die. There's only 9 Zerglings. You can't send every queen to defend the Liberator. Just a single queen, probably a good choice there. Sporecrawler shuffles over, a little slow to root, and that spawning pool placement just makes it really awkward to rotate queens and spores Really not a fan of that spawning pool. Never have been. Feel like Liberators, Oracles, any sort of harass behind the mineral line is always just harder for your queens and spores to move from side to side. 5 Overlords at once, Dark hitting a pretty hefty supply block on 82. That being said, he's spending his money decently enough. Building 2 Evo chambers, so it could be worse. Queen's coming forward, pushing back those Hellions. Clem's Hellion preservation has been next level. 3rd Command Center floating down. Starport putting the reactor. 1-1 upgrades are on the way. Liberator just chilling in the bottom for a moment. Dark's going to build a 3rd Spore Crawler. Good choice. You know that Liberator will come back in eventually. Might as well build the Spore. Does Dark notice it? Beautiful. Oh, that's... No, bad Queen. Oh, wait, what are we doing? Oh my god, I hate when players do this where they just click the drones on the minerals as if they're not just going to go straight back into the lib zone. It's such an idiot move. I've been making fun of Serral for doing that for years. Because I'm like, it's like, why not just grab the drones, click them off minerals, and send them back 10 seconds later? But you'll see pros grab the workers, click on the minerals, and then 2 seconds later, they have to grab the workers, click them on the minerals again, and do it again. And I'm like, why are you trapping yourself in a redundant APM cycle? I don't know why. Like, just click once, and then click once later. It's not that hard, guys. Pro gamers being a bit greedy sometimes. Is this a Marine tank push coming? Dark, careful. Transfuse, mate. Transfuse. Okay, Transfuse does hang on. He's got a Zergling run by coming in. 70 workers versus 60. Big Zergling run by potential here. Let's go. There's a tank on the high ground. Chat Hammer on the high ground. She's going to do a lot of damage, but it's going to be a bit of friendly fire in there as well. And the Lings will be defended. Nice moves. The SCVs do take a lot of damage, though. 8 SCVs going down. Not too bad. It was a lot of Zerglings. 20 Zerglings have died this game. Units lost tab overall in favor of Clem. But not massively so. Zergling's getting 2 Hellions surrounded. The Reaper will go down, as will more Hellions. Ooh, he's chasing too far, though, I think. Okay, he's going to stim in on the bottom at the same time. Queen goes down. 2 more Queens are in trouble right now. The Baneling speed is going to be done in 6 seconds. It's not there. The Queens need to pull back. The Marines are overstimmed right now. There's only 1 medevac. This is a dangerous push for Clem. A very dangerous push that should get him punished. The tank focuses on the Banelings. The Banelings close the distance. Zerglings take out the tank. The Marines have to pull back. 2nd medevac arrives. Clem stabilizes. He avoids drastic damage. And he's going for his 4th reactor. He missed his 5th one. You can see how sloppy the macro is right now because both sides are microing nonstop. Lingbane jumps on the Marines. They pick up. Dark has a 5th on the right, a 4th on the left, and a Hive on the way. Dark is in a very good position in terms of base count. His creep in the middle looks good, but he's lacking it on the sides. Remember what I've pointed out in this series. Dark does not respread creep after defending attacks. One of his big problems is he's played a light queen style all series long. The other problem is he keeps all those queens on a control group and regularly pulls them to the front to defend, which means he misses injects. And when he does go back to inject, it means the queens aren't on the front to spread creep. These are some of the mechanical deficiencies Dark has that if you can keep the pressure up for long enough, result in his creep spread being worse and his injects being worse than someone like Serral. It's a small thing, but that's part of the difference. If you're wondering what makes Serral a little bit cleaner than Dark, in these situations, he has different queens for different purposes, whereas Dark kind of uses them all for one purpose when the game gets messy. Medevac's going into the natural right there. Queens and Spores trying to rotate to the north. Liberator is still sieged on that bottom side. Queen's getting a bit of damage. Oh, got to target the medevac, mate. Don't want to just be fighting the Marines. There we go. Does target the medevac. Lingbane's over here. I like that Dark's keeping control of his territory. He got a creep tumor up on that side as well. Another one on the north would be amazing. Ultra Cavern already. Ultra Cavern 2-2 and Adrenal. I'm loving this play. He's on how many gases? 5 gases, which is more than enough for this Lingbane Ultra style. Dark's in a fantastic position. 78 workers against 66. Clem's moving out to a 4th. If Dark can blow up that 4th, he might just run away with this game. Oh, burrowed Banelings. Clem, come and taste. Come have a taste. Come have a taste, Clem. Clement. You know you want some. Clement. Oh, he scans it. Oh, maybe he saw them burrow and was just waiting for the scan. Oh, he just ran over that one. Okay, he does lose a few units there. Nice moves by Dark. Mixing the burrow in. This is going to make Clem think twice about doing any more of these attacks. Being very wary. Planetary Fortress starts to go up. But I'm telling you, Vipers are on the way. 2-2 Adrenal Glands. Dark is down, but he is not out. Yes, there's 8 barracks coming up for Clem. 2-2's about halfway done for him. But that's about similar timed with the Zerg. Ultras are now already building. And I'm keeping an eye on that concussive shell. It's a very important upgrade against the Ultra Zergling. Liberator comes in, but it's only in range of 1 or 2 drones. Not crazy impact damage. And looks like a big bio-tank mine push. Ooh, decent mine hits there. Oh! Oh my lord! That last Widow Mine, Dark letting his whole army clump up on that. I think Dark has enough. He should have had enough units to just A-move this, but he kind of got wrecked in that first part of the fight. The Lings will finally clean this up. The Vipers unfortunately don't have energy. Oh god, he doesn't have Banelings. Oh god, okay, the Banelings. Oh no, they're all going to get focused. Dark taking some incredibly sloppy fights. He was in such a good position. Oh no, he screws the pooch. He just took a disastrous series of fights. He should have crushed that fight. He had the numbers. But Clem has this habit of getting into the Zerg's face before they're ready, and they kind of panic and they take these crappy engagements because they're like, oh god, he's on top of my base, I have to defend this base. Nice transfuse to save the Vipers, clutch micro there for Dark. Queens and Vipers should be able to defend. Parasitic Bombs would be nice, but he was just barely shy of the Parasitic Bomb energy. Ooh, this is a series we got on our hands right now. I still think, I mean, Clem actually took some good enough trades. I think it's a very even game now. I do think Dark was ahead, but that is no longer the case. There's no Infestors out here. It's just Mass, Ling, Ultra, and Clem is very happy to start a step backwards into the fields of Widow Mines. Watch out for the Widow Mines on the left! Oh, decent Widow Mine here. It's better than decent, let's be real. Parasitic Bombs on the Medivacs on the right. The rally does get jumped on, but beautiful Medivac spready from Clem. He's going to start a step north right now. Dark's going to try and ransack this. Overseers come in. He does clean up some of the Widow Mines, but the Overseers drive too far ahead, so he leaves some of them alive. Drones coming in. He's trying to counterattack. Dark has a stiffy right now, guys. He's defending harassment. There's Widow Mines in amongst his bases. There's not much at home right now. There is a Liberator and a tank on the high ground. Chad Hammer stands strong. A few Marauders fall back to the natural ramp. The Ultras are here. The drones trying to be part of the boys. We're here to fight as well. Dark does send them home. He's going to be able to clear out that mineral line, surely. The Ultras do pretty well. 16 workers go down. Not bad. If he can rotate north and kill the planetary there, this could be a game-winning counterattack. But there's a lot of Liberators, and he's going to have to fall back. Overlord's taking damage at the end of the day. It's a pretty good reversal in terms of the trading. He was way behind in trading. Now it's a bit better, but those Widow Mines fired again on the way home. Where are the Overseers? He's got 3 Overseers. They're going to get out of there, thankfully, for Dark's sake. Adrenal Gland 2-2's done. Parasitic Bomb is not. 3-3 never started for Clem. Clem never started concussive. Oh, his Marauders aren't going to be slowing the Zerglings. It's a huge problem for him. Liberators just hit the south side. I was like, why is Clem's camera on the south? He's queuing up Liberators. Remember that harassment that keeps making Zergs struggle against him. Where's the transfuse? The hatchery goes down. Clem focuses the hatchery. Can Dark punish him? Parasitic Bomb into the center of the Viking Medevac. Good spready, though, once again for Clem. He does take a bit of the splash damage unnecessarily, but beautiful starter step here from young Clement. The Liberator comes in, gets 7 drones. Spore Crawler moves there. This is why you need 2 spores on these bases, because Clem is too good at the repositioning. Ultraling Bane comes in. Parasitic Bomb. It looks like it will take out that Liberator. The Widow Mines are letting their presence be known. Widow Mine's going to fire there, but Dark just taps. Ow! Holy crap. Clem becomes the champion. It's just a cascade of Clem baiting you into taking terrible engagements that you're not ready for. How do you keep up with the pace? This Liberator had 12 kills. This one had 10. And all he had left was 4 Ultras on the front. He knew he was dead. Oh, GG. The way Clem is just constantly in his face. I love that Clem mixed in a more late game style, but he made it work with his momentum and kind of annoying style where he makes his opponent make a lot of mistakes because he just kept queuing Liberators in. The Liberators queued in on these bases. They did massive damage, and he's always stutter stepping. He's always baiting him into the bad fights. I mean, Dark showed some real potential in this one, but you can just feel the pace of Clem. It brooks no errors. No mistakes are allowed. If you make mistakes, you die. And I think there was this big swarmy fight down here against the kind of this big push. I do think at this point, Dark is miles ahead. He's got 150 Zerglings. He doesn't have many Banelings, so you can definitely criticize him for going Chitinous Plating 2-2 Adrenal, Ultras, and Vipers already, with no Infestors to help deal with the Marines. On the other hand, I think he's got enough numbers. It's just half of his army's in the north of the map. And Clem shoves in so confidently and aggressively. He kind of baits Dark into fighting before he's ready. And watch how bad the start of this fight is. The Widow Mines are cleansing all of those Zerglings. The Widow Mines get great shots. The tanks and Marines do. And whilst he eventually comes in and cleans up this tanks, he doesn't have any Banelings or anything. So these Marines survive. Like, he kind of engages with 1/3 of his army, then another third of his army. It goes all the way back to what happened in Equilibrium at the start of the series, where he was attacking in waves. And in this case, he's defending in waves. And just look at how much value. He even gets some Banelings, almost gets the Vipers at the end. These Marines run in on the north and deny mining. Like, the momentum is crazy. From what I would say was a fantastic opening for Dark, but it's just so hard to keep up with the pace that Clem sets in the series. And even here, he redrops and he comes right back in and almost gets the Vipers. You're just under constant assault, under constant siege, and Clem really showing his skill. No 3-3 or concussive shells in this game by the 13-minute mark, which you could definitely criticize and say, okay, he was forgetting it. This last game was a bit sloppy and scrappy. But does it matter if you're forcing this many mistakes out of your opponent? No, it doesn't. StarCraft is a game where it's all about messing up with your opponent. It's not always about playing optimally, as long as you're making your opponent play even worse than you are. And that's exactly what Clem did in this series. A 4-1 victory, his first Premier Championship. I'm so bloody proud of him. And hell, it's about time. You know, for such a long time, we've been saying he's going to be one of the greats one day. And he's finally actually won a big LAN tournament. So GG, well played.